It's the 10 to 1 podcast with your host, Brad Oman, featuring Ben Konowitz and Nate Loucks. And here's the podcast.
Welcome back, friends. It's been a long time.
Shaboozy. I love Shaboozy.
I had no idea Shaboozy was a black man.
You learned.
You're so racist.
I had never seen Shaboozy, and it sounded like your typical country singer.
What's that mean?
Yeah,
You know what country singers are like.
Yeah, Beyonce?
No, very pleasant surprise. And
He's awesome.
Yeah, he put on a great performance, I thought. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. This is Saturday Night Live. This is about comedy. This is about pop culture. This is about laughs. Put in some chuckles at the Chortle Factory, you know?
Yeah, the Chortle Factory it is.
Yeah, the old laugh hut.
The old Giggleton.
Saturday Night Live, this is the 8th episode? Of season 50, hosted by Paul Mescal, not Mescal. Learn something in this episode. Pronounce his name.
It's not a smoky drink.
This was a very educational episode.
You
for old
learned
Brad.
quite a few things.
I did
about people.
So yeah, Paul Mescal, the Irish actor that he is, star of Gladiator II, hosting for his first time.
What was the first film that Paul Mescal got famous for?
Oh gosh,
Mr. Film Guy, host a film podcast.
I mean, I know the first movie that I noticed him in was All of Us Strangers, but I think After Sun was before that. But there's probably something else farther before that he did that was recognized.
According to SNL bio that I read for preparation is a movie called Normal People. Did you see?
Oh,
that?
That's actually a TV series on
is that right?
On Hulu, yeah.
Is that any good?
I've heard it is. My fiance Brittany has watched it and she said that it's very good.
Yeah, apparently that's kind of where he started to get a little bit of notoriety or a little bit of notice anyway.
Yeah. Paul Mescal.
Yes.
Okay.
First Irish host of SNL since when?
Oh,
Brendan Gleeson.
That's probably not right.
Isn't Brendan Gleeson Scottish?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure he's Irish actually.
I'm throwing it out there.
Is he? I'm gonna check this out. Hold on.
But maybe you're right. He could be Scottish. Red hair and a hand-me-down robe. You must be a Weasley.
He was. Yes, you're right. It is. I thought he was Scottish.
Got him.
Well, you're learning something new tonight.
I'm learning.
Who'd you think it was, Nate?
I thought
who
it
did
was
you write down? It's Saoirse Ronan.
Shaboozy.
Saoirse
Ronan.
Yep.
Wait, what were you how you gonna say that?
Zameda.
I thought it was her in 2017, but you're right. Because I assumed he was Scottish.
Hid.
The red hair.
Move. You know what movie that's from, Brad?
No.
Hid.
Oh,
Move.
yeah. Yeah.
Did you see Gladiator II, by the way?
Yeah.
I did.
How'd you like it?
It's pretty good. It's I think I ended up liking it more than others, but it's definitely got flaws. It's not anywhere near as good as the original Gladiator.
Would Paul Mescal? Is it Mescal?
Mescal.
Mescal.
We literally started the
Yeah,
conversation.
I know. I wasn't listening. But is he the youngest host of this year so far?
Timothy Chalamet hosted this year, didn't he?
Did he?
I don't know. Listen, guys. I'm making things up, and it seems to be right a lot. So I'm just saying stuff.
I'm just gonna say.
I'm just like throwing out there. Brendan Gleeson is Irish, and it's like, yep, he is.
All right, let me
Timothy Chalamet actually hosted this year.
Jean Smart.
No, she's the youngest.
Okay. Nate Bargatze, older.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ariana Grande.
No, I think she's like in her late 20s, early 30s.
Because we found out she had been performing for 20 years or whatever.
No, that was Charlie XCX.
Oh yeah, her too.
Yeah, how old is Charlie XCX? She's 35, right?
Huh?
Charlie XCX is 35?
Something like that, I thought, right?
29?
I think she was over 30.
Late
Yeah.
20s. Anyway.
And Paul Mescal is 28, I think, maybe.
Okay.
Roughly. So I guess.
So Chalamet did not host this year.
No, he did not.
Yeah, well, I tried.
Chris Rock hosts next. Martin Short might be younger. He's hosting
Martin Short is pretty young.
Yeah, he's a young buck.
He's a younger.
Yeah, so I think he's the youngest host so far this year.
Cool.
All right, we did it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys.
You know what's not very young?
Church lady.
Church chat. And I want to say very, very clearly, I love Dana Carvey. I think he's one of the all-time greats. What the fuck is Saturday Night Live doing?
Well, it is the 50th season.
Sure.
And so they did
Bring that on the special episode then.
I mean, but they have said that like throughout this entire season they'll be doing special guests and stuff like that. And I'm sure they probably like having Dana Carvey around. And it's not like he has a lot else going on.
I mean, he's not. Yeah, if it's up to him, he'd join the cast again. Like he loves the show.
There's a part of me that wonders if maybe he's just hanging around and they don't know how to tell him to leave.
We've said this before. Like,
those
it's
guys.
It's all right. We don't. You need a Biden? Not really anymore.
Oh,
how about Musk? Nah, we're good, bud.
Hey, Dana.
But it was nice to see David Spade.
Oh, it's like Monday. You're like, oh, hey,
Dana, still here. Did the car not come? All that we're talking shit, obviously, but in the real world here, do we need this? I don't know. Who's this for?
Here's the thing I will
mean,
say.
obviously, it's very popular. Church Lady is very, very popular.
Let's go ahead and give this sketch its proper introduction. As Nate does.
Yep. So this is a cold open church chat. Church Lady Dana Carvey interviews Matt Gaetz, Hunter Biden, and Juan Soto. Gaetz is again played by Sarah Sherman, Hunter Biden by David Spade. Welcome to the show. And Juan Soto is played by Marcelo Hernandez. And then we've got church chat singers Heidi Gardner, James Austin Johnson, Emil Wackham, and Jane Wickline. This was rough. It was rough in so many ways. It was rough because the writing wasn't great. Like, right. It just, I don't know who wrote the original Church Lady. You know, like, I don't know who. I assume Dana Carvey created it, but I'm assuming he had at least a co-writer or something. Yeah. You know, back when it was famous. But it was very beloved. But this just didn't have any magic to it at all. Some of the shots, some of the transitions were awkward. It did not work at all for me. He was delaying some of the popular slogans. Like, it was like waiting for the camera to come on, but the camera, like, it was like the light was delayed a second because the shot went to him. I don't know. It was a mess. It was a mess. It
felt very stilted.
Yep. Yeah, it felt forced. The timing felt like it was awkward. It feels like the humor of Church Lady doesn't work quite as well anymore. Like, some of it comes from the fact that it's a recurring sketch and like we get it, but also like this just felt like a weird mishmash of people to bring on without like much need to do it. Like, obviously Hunter Biden's in the news because of the pardon. Obviously Matt Gaetz is in the news because he's a piece of shit. I don't know who Juan Soto is, but it sounds like he's a big deal.
One of the best baseball players of all time. He's going to sign an enormous contract somewhere.
Amazing. Congratulations. I'm sure he's going to be rolling in the dough, amongst other things.
No, he will be.
But yeah, it just felt like this all felt very forced. If there's one thing that I appreciate, at least as far as just its mere existence, is it was nice to have something like this as opposed to your usual political cold open.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, CNN here reporting.
I just wish they didn't waste it. You know, when they do something different, I wish it was a grand slam. So that
would that have been better though, to do the church chat with a Donald Trump where she's judging him for, you know, being a degenerate essentially.
I just don't know if those characters go well together. Like, as far as like why each of them is funny, it's tough to do. Like, you need the people who are up against Church Lady have to be more straight characters, I guess, because Church Lady's supposed to be the one who's a little more outlandish.
Well, yeah, I mean, it works when it's if Nate Bargatze is on and they did this, it would have worked so much better. Where he's, you know, she could literally talk about his stand-up being too much for her.
Yeah,
because it's only funny because she's the one that is outraged.
Yeah, but
when you have Matt Gaetz on there, of course we're on your side, Church Lady. She's supposed to be the one where you're like, you're weird.
Yeah,
but when you're having characters that are weirder than her, then that doesn't work. It's not the same.
But yeah, I just feel like this was a misfire, and I think that for me, it was also too long. Because the Church Lady sketches, I think they tended to be pretty like shorter, like 4 or 5 minutes.
I was hoping for 2 guests. I don't know that we needed the third guest.
Yeah, it's usually just one guest, right?
Well, yeah, it's usually
it can be 2, but
typically back in the day anyway, it was the star of it was the host.
Yeah, the first
came in as the
exactly.
Whatever.
The first episode or the first appearance was January 24th, 1987. Joe Montana and Walter Payton. In season 12. By the way, who's the co-creator of this?
It's probably Robert Smigel.
Rosie Schuster.
Nice.
Okay.
Yep. And then Charlton Heston, then Sean Penn, third episode, Danny DeVito, then Fred Savage and Rob Lowe. So Rob Lowe's was really good. I remember Rob Lowe's. But
well, isn't that special?
But it just didn't, and maybe too because I don't know. Is it? Are we? this is a silly cultural question, maybe. Is it because we're not that religious as a culture that much, so the judgment of a church lady doesn't. It hits a little different in the 80s when our parents at least grew up in church or like had that maybe that cultural experience of the church lady. I mean, like I don't know. I'm just it makes me wonder why this, just like you said, Brad, the humor doesn't hit as much.
Yeah. I think it's
and
just,
I liked it when it was on before.
Yeah, I think it's just that I think it's the mix of people who are in the sketch as characters and just the rest of it being bad timing and just not as sharp writing. But I am glad that they used Phil Hartman's voiceover.
I love that.
Instead of redoing it. And they also, I think, just used an old upscaled graphic because it did not look HD when they used it.
No, yeah. There's a little nostalgia there, and that's fun. But other than that, oof.
So I will say this then. Let's do this. That's in some of this next episodes. That's great. Bring back some of the past cast members and do this. That, like you said, this is better than the political cold opens. Bring back. I would hope it would be better writing and a better iteration of it in a different one. But
like if you
bring
have,
an Adam Sandler.
If
back,
you have
bring
Mike, if
bring
you do
David
Mike
Spade.
Myers next week's cold open, and it just opens up and he's in the fucking bathtub, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And be like, this is amazing. Well, hello, my name is Simon, and I love to do drawings.
Exactly.
Yes, a million times yes.
Yeah. So one sketch an episode.
Yep, I would love that so much.
I would love
for
that.
the
That'd be
50th season.
great.
Hell yeah.
Do it.
So, all right, let's move on. Monologue. Paul Mescal talks about his comedy chops and clears up some nasty rumors about the Irish. I don't know anything about Paul Mescal.
He's Irish.
I know that now, but I didn't. Like I don't even know if anything I've seen him in.
Seen Gladiator II.
Yeah, I've not.
Seen All the Strangers.
And he's been clearly in a lot of movies where he's emotional and crying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That was really funny.
it was very funny.
but I found him very charming in this.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't over the moon for his performance in Gladiator 2, but seeing how he is in real life now, I actually appreciate his performance a little bit more because you can tell that he did something
Acting.
yeah, much different and really had to try to be a more stoic, stiff personality. So it's not that the performance itself was stiff, but like he legitimately did it, for the character. So that was interesting to see. But yeah, he's very charming.
He's charming. He's funny.
He is
I think
funny.
he's funny.
Yeah, no, it was solid. It was nice to see such a dramatic actor have fun
Yeah,
and be very
self-deprecating, and
Yeah.
but in the right way, where it's not like he's not hamming it up,
Yeah.
but just being honest about it, and it came across very earnest.
funny. Yes.
And I'll say this again. We've noted this before. Marcelo Hernandez is one of the big guys now, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is a big time player. He can just come on the screen, and I'm waiting for him to do something funny because I trust him. Like Bowen Yang, like all the great, Heidi Gardner. When they're on the stage and they're on camera, they're going to do something funny, and that's the way he is. I mean, just even in his little statements, and I'm sorry, America. When he walks away.
What did he say? Like, and goodbye, America.
Yeah. It was a great little one line. He's great at delivering it, and I'm just.
It
such a
seems
big
like
fan
he's
of
a
his.
pretty big deal now because like I see him doing T-Mobile commercials.
Yeah.
Well, the Sabrina Carpenter video
Yeah.
where he was at
the concert.
at the concert, and they called out Domingo.
Yeah.
In front of 30,000 screaming fans, and the knowledgeable cheer, right?
Oh yeah.
Nobody in that room
Everybody
didn't
knew.
know who he
Yeah.
was. I mean, it wasn't like that's kind of funny or whatever. It was incredible.
And these were 16 to 25-year-old girls,
everybody
mostly, right?
and so his target demographic. I mean, the 18 to 30, whatever the marketers really love.
Yeah.
Oh man, Marcelo Hernandez is checking those boxes off right now.
he's a short king.
He is a short king. Good for him.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Earring parents, played by Heidi Gardner and Emil Walken. Welcome to the show, by the way, Emil Walken.
Yeah.
he seems to be getting a little bit
Get
of
a little bit more play.
overact when their son, played by Paul Mescal, comes home with an ear piercing.
And by the way, I bought Emil with the gray hair. He played an old. I was like, okay, I'll take him as the dad. Yeah, it was good.
This was
Great.
Heidi Gardner being Heidi Gardner.
Yeah, this is Heidi Gardner at her best.
I loved her.
Yeah.
I thought she was hilarious.
It was so fun.
Did you ever have a moment where your parents
Yeah.
did something like this where
Yeah.
they're like being absurd, kind of like, wait a second, why are you so mad about this? Kind of,
Yeah, I got my eyebrow pierced in college, and my dad threatened to rip it out.
Well, let's be clear. That was a stupid decision.
I mean, it was fine. I had it. For
I had the
couple
top
years.
of my cartilage pierced. In my
Oh,
ear.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
Did you really?
I did.
That's impossible for me to imagine.
I even that was pretty cool.
That's impossible for me to imagine.
What is the like?
Wait a
white-
minute. When I got my eyebrow pierced, you didn't say that's impossible for me to imagine.
But
Right.
because we're picturing like 6 months of Ben like having an infected eyebrow.
He basically just looked like an Italian mobster where he just had a wonky eye, like he'd gotten in a fight the night before.
The ladies loved it.
But
Because it's really good for sex, right?
Yeah, that's when you rub your eyebrow on people's lips and they just love it.
But yeah, I did have that. And actually, the hole, once you put the hole in the cartilage, it stays there. The hole
Oh,
is
yeah.
still there.
It's there.
Do you hang Christmas ornaments on it? For
No,
Christmas?
because the skin does heal, but the cartilage, like I could.
Yeah, I had both of my ears pierced and my nose and my tongue.
Oh, your
No,
tongue.
not my nose. Sorry, my eyebrow.
But
You
your
got
tongue?
your tongue pierced?
Yeah, I had my tongue pierced for a whole
Oh,
year.
that's so
fuck's
gross.
wrong with you?
That's so gross.
When I was in...
Whenever people would like stick their tongue out and be like, yeah, you're like, oh.
Yeah,
God.
I always my
I
biggest
was
concern
18.
is I would see people doing it and like I would see the bottom ball bearing get like on their tooth. I was just like no.
Yep, you would roll it on your lips.
Ah. Hey, you're gross.
Hey, but the ladies always wanted to kiss a guy with a tongue ring because they never had one before. So I got a lot of first kisses.
Did it hurt ever? Like kissing? Like if they're aggressive?
I mean, you had to. I had an interview for a job 2 days after I got it pierced, and so I went
their
in.
tongue
and
is swollen?
Yep, it was so swollen. And I was like,
And he didn't get that job.
I did. I got the job, but it was. I was like, I have a. I think I had a procedure done.
So
You had a
Brad-
what done?
A procedure.
What?
A procedure. A tongue procedure.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So Brad, what did you think of this one?
No, I thought this was very funny. And funnily enough, I also felt like it felt like a sketch that would have been in like the 90s or something. Too.
Yeah, exactly.
It had kind of a classic feel to it.
Yeah, and it had a good escalation at the end, right? You see,
It was quick too. The
Yep.
the bloody whatever
The spatula hang from
Yep.
here.
but it happens so quick, and it was such a good job by props, and because
Yeah.
it stayed whatever they did. I mean, she's wangling that thing
Yeah.
around. It stayed on there. I was so happy with the way that worked out.
and Michael Longfellow appearing at the end.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, like it was a very clean,
Great
and
escalation.
funny sketch. Like it
Yeah.
was just everything worked well.
Couple great physical bits, throwing Ashley Padilla through the window.
Twice, so good.
And then I also really liked the slow clap when he tried to accuse him of being homophobic. Like,
Oh,
Yep.
oh,
yep.
here we
yeah,
are. Yeah, that's
okay.
what we are.
That response before many people have had, right?
Yeah.
From parents are like, oh, so we're racist because we
Oh,
said racist
Take
things.
a bow. I always said colored instead of black. Like, okay, Thanksgiving's over. Jesus.
But yeah, no, I thought.
Did
this
you get in
was-
trouble for that, Ben?
You're such an asshole.
So I thought this was very good. Kudos.
It was-
I don't
yeah.
know. Again, we like to read the names of the writers of the sketch because we want
Credit where credit's due,
Yeah.
man.
But we're recording this Sunday night, and oftentimes those go out on people's social media. SNL doesn't release those; the cast or the writers release that.
Yeah, unless it's a pre-tape and you can see it in the actual
And
credits.
so I
Yeah,
don't
we've
know
said this before.
who
Okay,
wrote
let's-
that.
Let's move on. We've said this before.
Hey, calm down.
It's fine.
Sassafras.
Let's go.
Maybe someone joined the podcast just
Exactly.
now.
And so I want people to know. I don't know who wrote that, but whoever did, great job.
Good job. Good
All right.
job. Great job.
Moving on,
Hey,
Gladiator.
actually, real quick, can we run through the process and talk about how SNL works?
Oh my God, I hate you so much.
Gladiator II trailer. A movie trailer introduces a musical version of Gladiator II. This was written, I know who wrote this, by Jane
He's not gonna tell us.
by Jane Wickline, Streeter Seidel, and Mikey Day.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to read that because I knew
Very
that,
cool.
and like kudos to Jane Wickline.
Yeah, for sure.
We know that her and I have had a history.
Yeah, I would say that you and Ben were pretty unjustifiably mean to her.
I
No, not
believe that was
unjust-
Nate alone, and we've talked about this.
it was definitely. Oh,
You- no.
You
Who's throwing
jumped. You
you
jumped
under
on
the bus
You
right
jumped on
now?
that bandwagon like I had eyebrow piercings for free, buddy.
You go back and you listen. I was always on your side with that, Brad. I
that is
never.
not even close to
It's
me.
never
if
even
anything,
once.
you kept waffling back and forth, like,
But then-
hold on a second.
I
But
love
then he
waffles.
leaned towards me at the end. Did
Yeah,
not?
he did.
Yeah, I leaned over you and said, "Leave her alone."
He nestled into you like
I
you were
leaned in and I said, "Leave her alone. She's a great performer."
But kudos to her for writing this.
Yeah,
with-
because this was very,
It's very good. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, a Gladiator 2 musical
Musical.
redux where they
Yeah.
did reshoots. Great production value. Paul Mescal.
Paul Mescal going for it.
Yeah.
This reminded me a little bit of when Owen Wilson was on and they had the Cars 4 thing
Yeah.
that they were doing, and I was like, to take a brand that you are insanely famous for, right? And Paul Mescal this is the only thing that general audiences really know him from. Like, this is the biggest thing he'll ever do, and to really like target it.
Yeah,
that's so funny when they have that level of I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
that's great.
And the songs were really good too.
They were fun.
Oh, the Lin-Manuel Miranda one was just perfect.
Oh god,
that captured his style.
The violence too, still with like the swords cutting off hands and stuff, and still being a musical. It was great.
No, this was really.
See,
really
if they made
well done.
musicals like this, Nate.
Musicals,
I'd watch them.
Speaking of musicals,
actually, then you need to watch a movie called Anna and the Apocalypse, my friend.
That doesn't sound like a musical.
It is. It is a Christmas musical, actually.
Where
have I not seen it?
You haven't seen Anna and the Apocalypse?
It sounds like for our other podcast, Go Flix Yourself, we just got an assignment, Nate.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Ben and I will watch it.
It's like musical Shaun of the Dead at Christmas.
Okay, I'll watch it.
You should.
But speaking of musicals, again, Brad, Paul Mescal has a great voice.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in a musical coming up called Merrily We Roll Along, which is a very famous musical.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they are filming it right now.
Cool.
And so you can understand why he got hired, because he has a fantastic voice.
He does. And I also really liked the pull quote they did for Ridley Scott. Like, no, I did not approve this.
I did not approve this. That was good.
All right, moving on. Italian restaurant commercial. 2 actors, played by Paul Mescal and Ashley Padilla, go off script while filming a commercial for an Italian restaurant. I feel like Ashley Padilla has been on the show for a long time. She has a comfort, and she has a weird like old school vibe to her.
I mean, it's impossible not to like her.
Like, it just feels like that. And I've compared her to Anna Gasteyer before, but just that old, like, she's never probably going to be the star of SNL, like a season of star.
Yeah.
But she's going to have a career here. And I feel like for a long time she could, because she just brings a very specific type of energy.
Yeah.
When and to your point, when you can fill a role on Saturday Night Live, we need a mom for this sketch that is the Anna Gasteyer type. Or even Sherry O'Terry did it pretty well. Maya Rudolph sometimes, but she was a little bit more bombastic. But that is such a needed role, right? And so if you can do it, that's one thing. Plenty of actresses on the show have done that, right? Plenty of cast members have like played that role. But when you can make it memorable
and funny,
that's next level. And she makes things memorable.
Exactly. And so I thought this was actually pretty funny.
No, I thought this was very funny. I thought Paul Mescal was also good in it.
Yep, very good.
The desperation.
I just thought we were trying stuff. I'm just trying everything. So good.
Spaghetti or not, we're gonna kill you.
So the only thing I didn't love is, I mean, I love Keenan. I love it. It was a little too much for me.
Oh no, I loved seeing Keenan as an Italian guy. Actually,
the end. I'm not joking. Like, that part's fine. I don't love what they did with it. Is what I'm saying. Like,
it felt a
weird way to end it.
No, I liked it.
I'm with you. The sketch was going really well.
Yeah.
And I like the escalation of it. I thought it was well. They brought him in. I thought, this,
and I'm still not.
I'm still
on board here. I'm like, okay, but then it all kind of wrapped up in some kind of like melancholy, like oh god, or not melancholy, but what am I trying to say? What's the
I don't know.
What's a happy ending? You know, when they like make things melodramatic.
Not melodramatic.
I'm gonna think of it.
Think of the word saccharine?
No,
you dummy.
No, like where it all works out in the end.
Happy ending.
Okay. Anyway,
no, I disagree because I thought that was just a really funny thing because it's so absurd that would be part of his family history, and for it to like suddenly be okay.
I just thought that was too absurd.
No, it's a sketch comedy show.
It is. I thought that was fine. I just didn't think you necessarily needed it.
Great sketch, good sketch by the end.
Yeah. All right,
that was a pretty great sketch all around.
Moving on, my boys are back. Please Don't Destroy film. Paul Mescal is daddy. Paul Mescal shares his dream life with Ben Marshall, John Higgins, and Martin Herlihy. Listeners of this podcast know that I am Please Don't Destroy's biggest fan. I love these guys. When there isn't a Please Don't Destroy pre-tape, I get upset. They're back, and I'm so grateful they were. This had me freaking rolling. I loved this.
Yes, I agree. I was surprised to see it go to a much more elaborate level because I thought it was just going to stay there and he was going to keep talking about how he loved them. And so when it went to the cabin and they did like a whole thing there.
No, that was a new level of escalation for him too, right? Like that was like I was with you, Brad. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. They're just gonna do the thing that they do in The Office, where they ping pong off each other. Then somebody says something more absurd than and I'm gonna laugh still because it's gonna be great. But this still surprised me. Yeah, right. Where they went with this,
it's always like they're able to escalate when they just keep it in the office, right? Mm-hmm. Then when they take it somewhere else and they're able to use the outside to do that. I mean, it was I really liked when they showed up at the cabin and it became a real family type. I don't know. It's just, and it's about the holidays too. I mean, we're getting into the holiday season here, and it just felt it was a bit saccharine, Brad. No, it was good. It was very good.
I especially liked the ending too, with Jane Wickling coming in and seeing him kissing them on the forehead under blanket and just being like, "Oh, okay,
all right, I'm gonna go."
You said Jane Wickling. Is it Jane Wickling or Jane Wickline?
I said Jane Wickline. I just said it fast.
He's got a razor sharp wit.
I think Vanessa said I talk fast. You got to keep up.
All right, moving on. Pirates. A bachelorette party attends a show put on by male dancers, played by Paul Mescal, Mikey Day, Bowen Yang, Andrew Smooks, Marcelo Hernandez, James Austin Johnson, and Michael Longfellow. Ben, what did you think of this one?
I love this premise so much.
I agree.
That I was so let down by it.
Yeah.
Because this is like when you hear that Hollywood is going to remake Death Warrant. And then you see the movie that Bruce Willis did, and you're like, oh no. Because that evidently was one of the best scripts that had been passed around Hollywood for a while, and then they turned it into a B movie. This is what this felt like. This premise was so good.
Yeah.
And it was just, you got what you got, you know?
Yeah, it felt like it went on too long without much escalation. Like, they did the joke.
Like, we get it. They're taking it very seriously. Yeah. They're talking about real pirate terms.
Yeah.
And they're living that life on stage. It's a stage play.
Yeah, it needed something to, like, push it to a weirder place or a more absurd place. And I would have liked to have seen it go somewhere different, as opposed to just kind of repeating the same thing a few times over and over again. But the one thing that did help is Ego Woden's reactions were pretty funny.
Yeah, she was in it. Really into that aspect of it. That's a nice add-in for sure.
Anytime a sketch like this is done, though, where it takes essentially the whole cast on stage, it's a production, right? So kudos for the try.
Yeah, what a great premise, and just not an incredible. It wasn't like I didn't hate it, but it was just not where I wanted it to go.
It just felt like it was a little squandered.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Weekend update with Colin Jost and Michael Che. Ben, just like in 15 seconds, explain the pedometer.
Well, it used to be that we would just gauge whether or not there was a good interaction between Michael Che and Colin Jost. Did it matter that the show was actually good? A little bit, but mainly it was about the camaraderie or the lack thereof, chemistry, lack thereof. And then Brad gives a score of 0 to 100, and 100 being the highest. And lately, everything's been 118 or 5,422. Like, everything's perfect.
It's not
true.
Yeah, and it's like, it's an okay episode. And then the one, it's 96.
And then the one I'm like, that's well, based on his ratings lately, that's a 98. And he's like, I don't know, 52.
Yeah. Like, there's no science behind it. It's dumb.
So we do make it,
but we do it every time because we started doing it 150 episodes ago, and we got to keep on.
I've tried now to make Nate, and I say it at the same time. Nate does this dumb thing, like it's like playing rock paper scissors with somebody who cheats. He just like waits and then throws his a little late so he can see what you threw first.
I like to do $1
because I'm like on 3, like 1, 2, 3, and you say the thing, and I'm like 1, 2, 3, 50, and you're
okay. Firstly, do you think that do you think it was a higher score?
Yes.
You do?
I do.
Is there a reason why you think it was a higher score?
I mean, there was direct interplay between the two. Which
was there a specific thing, though?
I can't remember off the time. I remember thinking in the moment, like, Che either said something to Jost or the other way around, where they literally talked to each other. I think that when they do that, it is more than anything should be a higher pedometer score. So that's what I was going off of. So I'm gonna say 90.
I'm gonna say 85.
Oh, interesting choices, gentlemen.
It's 107.
Today we went with a 92.
I almost said 92. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I thought that was a little too high.
Okay, Brad, Dr. Oman, explain to us why you prescribed that.
Funny. No, while this was one where they didn't have like a constant direct interaction, they just had a good like vibing off of each other, where they were like laughing at each other's stuff, and they did have somewhat of interaction without directly talking to each other. And like they did have that thing too where Che did like a joke, and it cut to Jost, and he was like, "Wait, why is the
Why
camera on
are you
me?"
cutting me?
Yeah. So there was good stuff in here, but like you could tell they were having fun with each other.
92 is high.
That is pretty high.
It was really good.
But they didn't have a lot.
They had the one where it was like picture in picture live of it, and he was like 88.
But that was
Yeah,
only
I know, exactly.
that was only once. This had a constant energy throughout where they felt like they were like really like in with each other and on each other's wavelength.
All right. What's next, Mr. Nate?
All right, a mom whose son just got famous, a mom played by Heidi Gardner, whose son, Marcelo Hernandez, dead behind the eyes, just got famous, stops by Weekend Update to discuss navigating her son's overnight success. This is playing on the idea that, first, your NFL players or baseball players or NBA players, are 18, 19 years old. They're still being raised by parents and moms and things like this. And so Heidi Gardner plays that mom. What did you guys think of this? This is a chaotic Heidi Gardner character. She does a lot of crazy kind of mom stuff. Did you like this iteration of it?
I thought it was fine. I didn't love it. I thought Heidi Gardner was very good in it. I liked seeing Marcelo in a more reserved,
subdued role.
Yeah, comedic performance. But otherwise, the premise itself, I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. I'm not sure where it came from. I mean, it's like yet another character where Heidi Gardner plays some kind of like very strange, over the top, frantic, frenetic pace. Yeah. But is it any better than Ego Wodom's woman that can't find her phone?
Right.
In her, those characters seem to be very prevalent right now. The frenetic pace of a woman behind the desk, and I mean. Sure, but it's kind of like the same iteration over and over again. Yeah. I kind of am hoping for something different next time. Not that this was bad whatsoever. You love Heidi Gardner. If she does anything, she commits to the bit. I mean, you cannot waver that woman. She is incredible in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, she does characters like this though, right? This is not a very rare type of character for her. And so when you compare it to the other characters that she's done like this, it's not one of the more memorable ones. But everything she did was good because Heidi Gardner's good, right?
Exactly.
So there was nothing wrong with it. It was fine. All right, moving on. Of the Andrew Dismukes, of the Dismuxian sketch of the night.
Dismuxian.
Brilliant lawyer. Things go off the rails when a lawyer, played by Andrew Dismukes, attempts to defend his client, played by Paul Mescal, in court. I don't know if Andrew Dismukes wrote this, but I know Andrew Dismukes wrote this. This is probably guys. This is the best sketch of the night. If you don't agree, I'll kill myself.
Whoa!
Oh,
whoa!
Wow.
That is aggressive.
Okay, let's reel it in a little bit.
No, but that's not what I was saying. I was doing a bit from
Nate.
the sketch.
I understand. I get it.
I know, but
it's a poor bit, and you're gonna kill yourself.
It's a great bit. You know what, Nate? Just like I disagreed with you about her, I'll agree with you here that this is a great.
He couldn't even remember her name.
I know Jane Wickline.
No, it's Emil.
Or if you're Brad,
Emil
Jane Wickline.
Wickline.
That's a man.
There's two people together.
Brad's like Jane Wickline. No, I said Jane Wickline.
I was just too fast for you, bro.
Yeah, I am too fast.
Oh yeah, too furious.
I have the
too furious.
Fastest lips in the West. That's what they used to call me.
Nobody.
I don't
has said
believe
that
you
ever.
at all.
Nobody has said that.
No, literally, no one's ever said that.
You don't think anybody's ever said that about me?
That you have the fastest lips in the West?
Yeah, you don't think anybody has said that about me?
No.
I said it about myself, so you lose.
All right, hey Brad, what did you think of the sketch?
Yeah.
Brilliant lawyer.
I thought this sketch was hilarious, and if you don't think it's the best of the night, I'm going to kill myself.
It was not the best of the night, but it was very good. I love the word Dismuxian.
Yeah, it's so
Dismuxian.
Yeah, I my favorite thing is just the levels of absurdity as they keep going along, as he keeps introducing new plans as to how he thinks he's going to pull it off.
Plan C, Plan D, Plan E.
We're not done.
We're not done yet. Don't worry. I've got a plan. You have a Plan E?
And just the endless confidence and cockiness where he thinks he's going to pull it off.
Yep. I really thought that would work.
Which is something Dismukes does so well, where he's got this unearned confidence.
Like they shuffle them all around, and it's like, did you think that was going to work?
There was a second where I thought when he went to talk to the one black guy in the crowd of people that he legitimately thought that's who his client was, as opposed to him trying to pull it off again.
Like he's just that bad of a lawyer.
Yeah, because it could have gone either way. Where like he thought the plan worked so well that he lost track of his client.
No, I mean honestly, it's a very funny sketch. Yeah, it's. I don't know. There's just something about it that it's a one man show though. It's just Meeks only.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's just him doing his bit. So I don't know. They're not that you could have really asked for anybody else to join in and do much more, right? Because it's just a platform for him to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And it almost felt like a 10-to-1 sketch. Honestly,
It did. It very much did. I enjoyed this a lot.
Just Meeksy, and I like it.
All right, moving on. Spotify Wrapped. Do you guys use Spotify? I use Apple Music.
I do use Spotify.
Apple Music has its own version, but it's
Was it just Creed? All albums of Creed?
Nickelback, Green.
Yeah, it was, and also covers of Creed. I like to hear other bands do covers of Creed songs.
Can you take me?
Do you know what I found about Brad the other day when we went to go see a movie together? That Brad
He has the fastest lips in the West.
No.
Didn't find that out. But what I did find out about Brad is the captain, the general of the Limp Bizkit fan club.
Oh yeah,
I still like. I will listen to Limp Bizkit all day.
Yeah, no.
I had it on the other day. when I was cleaning the house.
I'm not joking.
No,
Brad
no.
loves.
I have a pirate ship hat that says that I'm the captain of the SS Limp Bizkit.
I thought you were obviously making an analogy of some sort, but okay, fair enough.
No, I do love me some Limp Bizkit.
we were jamming pretty hard.
Well, they did it all for the Nicky.
We did this.
So was Limp Bizkit on your Spotify Wrapped?
No, not this year.
Not this year. Last year.
Finally, actually, I did have one weird because I've been really into "All I Need Is a Miracle," the song by Mike and the Mechanics this year.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
from like the 80s.
Yeah, I don't know why. It keeps me
All
pumped,
I need
and so
is
I've been
a
listening to it while I've been
miracle.
driving. It was my #1 song this year.
How does that get you pumped? By the way,
It's a very uplifting. You need to listen to it again. It's a very uplifting song.
Is that 42?
No, it's like
No.
all I need is
All I need is a miracle. All I need is you.
Well,
All I need. All I need is a miracle.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't get that. How
Sounds like a
how
fake
that one
song.
pumps
You need
you up.
From a
to
Hallmark
listen, You
movie.
need to listen to it again. It's really uplifting. It gets,
No, that
it
feels
gets
like
it gets your
the
heart
end
pumped.
of like a Harold Ramis movie or something that like using the credits or something.
Actually, if you remember, they do use it at the end of Spencer, and it's a very like triumphant moment for Diana as she leaves with her kids. Remember?
Oh, I don't
Remember? Yeah.
remember
No,
that.
that's fine. You
Yeah,
don't like
she
movies.
got the miracle that she needed.
But no, so that was the weird one. But I also been listening to a ton of podcasts. So my music stuff was not like I think for like the second time, Weezer was like my most listened to artist because I always listen to a bunch of Weezer. But my runner up was Dua Lipa, so I got a personal message that nobody else got.
Ew.
All right. Hey, real quick for our listeners, Brad, because some of them watch this.
Yes, I will marry Dua Lipa.
No, who is? Explain to our listeners who Trisha Paytas is.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who that is.
Let me tell you, I don't fucking know.
So yeah, I didn't understand that reference at all. Like, I don't know.
I looked her up, and it looks like she is some kind of like online personality.
Oh no, like she's very popular.
Yeah.
And like people on the Reddit or the subreddit for SNL are like, wow, they're using her because she's apparently have some transphobic things and like she said some pretty like chaotic things on her podcast.
She seems pretty chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It struck me as that seems right.
I had no idea who this was.
I still don't.
I liked the oddness of Bowen Yang's character in this one, but I felt like it should have pushed even weirder.
Yeah. So if you're gonna, thank you. So if you're gonna start weird, keep going.
Yeah.
Right. Escalation, baby.
Because the Trisha Paytas thing didn't add anything
And
for me.
so maybe it was different if it would have added something for us because we knew that was or whatever. It
Yeah.
made a big deal. That is the payoff, and it's like okay,
guys are
but
so old.
I'm 43.
Did you know who Trisha Paytas was?
Hashtag boomers.
So let me just let you in. They're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, they're not using hashtag insults anymore.
They're not doing a hashtag boomer. I promise you.
All right. No, I had no idea. who this was.
Skibbity toilet.
Skibbity toilet.
Caps on, no caps, all caps.
That's right, fam.
All right. Final sketch of the night, a complete unknown red carpet written by Mike DeCenzo, James Austin Johnson, Andrew Meeks, and Jake Nordwin. A reporter played by Heidi Gardner interviews Bob Dylan, James Austin played by James Austin Johnson, Timothy Chalamet played by Chloe Feynman, Bruce Springsteen played by Andrew Meeks, and more on the complete unknown red carpet. I feel like this was just a vehicle to get James Austin Johnson's Bob Dylan in.
And I'm not mad about it because that is a hell of a Bob Dylan impression that he did.
The funniest thing about this to me, or the most jarring thing was, oh yeah, that's what Bruce Springsteen looks like now.
Yeah.
Like, cause like I was like, oh, that doesn't. Oh wait, no, that's his look these days.
He's like 78.
Yeah, but I didn't get it. I was like, why? That's not. Oh no, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm very old.
Yeah, you're very old.
Yeah.
So you like this?
I thought it was pretty good.
It's a just a vehicle for the impression,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yes, solid showcase for the
Hey
impressions.
guys, what impressions are you working on right now? Right?
Yeah. What was the third person that came out?
Well, you have Timothy Chalamet played by Chloe Fineman. James Austin Johnson is the Bob Dylan. Andrew Smeeks is Bruce Springsteen.
There's somebody after Bruce.
Who does
Springsteen.
Paul Mescal play?
Oh, it was Bono from U2.
Bono. That's right.
Yeah. It was a fun collection of people. I also really liked just the random ending of them asking the Gilmore Girls question and them having all three having the exact same answer. It was just a funny random thing that they did.
And at least there's a way to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But fuck BuzzFeed.
And that's our
She's
podcast.
like, okay, well, bye everybody, bye.
All right,
That's how it ended. Everyone would agree.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And that is the episode. Let's move on to MVP of the night. Who was your favorite cast member of the night?
Whew, yeah, and I always think about this at length before the show, and definitely don't come up with it in the moment. So I'm glad that you guys are bearing with me, and just as I clear my throat a little bit and think, not that I need to think. Motherfucker.
You having a good one?
Who do you got? Who you're looking at all the sketches right now, Brad, on your phone. Oh, who was in what? Who was in what?
You don't have one, you idiot.
Who was in the sketches?
Hey Siri, who was in the sketches?
You know who I am going to give it to actually?
Who?
Paul Mescal.
Oh
No, you can't.
No.
Stop it.
No, I'm going to because
bullshit.
No, because my expectations were
dumb.
zero.
You're phoning this in.
My expectations were zero. He's a dramatic actor. I wasn't expecting much from him. I've never seen him do anything comedic. So seeing him and come through and do a variety of things, he did some impressions, he did some weird stuff. He just had a good time, and he was good at it too. He wasn't one of the best hosts ever, but he did definitely exceed my expectations in a similar fashion that Charlie XCX did, because I didn't have any expectations for her either. And so I'm going to give it to Paul Mescal. I think Paul Mescal came through, and I was impressed by him.
That's so dumb.
It's just dumb because I made a decision and you weren't there for it.
I'm gonna go with Paul Mescal. I think that one of the things that I really enjoyed about him.
That's who I wrote down.
That's who I wrote down before the show. I just wanted to let you know.
Did you have a different opinion, Nate?
You're not going with Paul Mescal.
I can't really. The reason I would say that I actually do agree with Brad on a lot of those points. Now that I'm thinking back through, he was in pretty much everything. Which is
he's the freaking host.
Well, I know, but they gave him something to do in pretty much everything.
Even,
some hosts, you're in it, but you're not really doing much.
Even in the sketches when he was playing the straight man, he had a bit more to do. Like in the earring sketch, he had a lot more to do than just be there. He had to also get worked up. And,
well, yeah, and even in the sketch where he, oh shit, which one? Not the earring sketch, but not the lawyer sketch.
The Italian restaurant sketch?
Yes, where he's getting upset, but he is the straight man. And he's like, what are we doing here? I thought that, but he escalates as well. So no, I'll agree with you, Brad. He did a great job.
Yeah, that's right, Nate.
Who'd you think, Nate?
I'm gonna go with Andrew Smeeks.
Well, you're wrong.
Well, he was in that one sketch, so I guess
he was in that one sketch.
Yep.
Nate's like, yep.
Yeah, he played Bruce Springsteen too.
He did play Bruce Springsteen.
It was either him or James Austin Johnson, because James Austin Johnson played
Bob Dylan. Yeah, those were good. That's a good parameter to pick your MVP.
There wasn't a good MVP this one.
No, it was kind of a scattershot. Marcella was in a lot, but whatever.
Heidi Gardner, maybe.
Yeah, she was great.
She did have a
pretty good episode, and
her sketches weren't the top notch
exactly,
quality, but she was very good in
She had a solid episode, so it's hard though. I don't know if there was anybody that was just,
So Paul Mescal then?
No, because I don't think
Mescal,
but
Paul Mescal.
I'll also give a shout out because again, I don't think she's the MVP, but Ashley Padilla had a good episode.
She did have a good episode.
Yeah,
Ashley Padilla. Where was Bowen Yang really this episode?
He played the judge. In the Disney
cool,
sketch.
But where else was he?
He was one of the pirates, probably.
He was.
He was one of the pirates. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was. Let's see. So he was one of the pirates. He was Judge Peter Lee.
He was in Gladiator.
He was Satoshi Gutman in.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
in
right.
the Spotify Wrapped. All right, so.
Do you think they'll bring Satoshi Gutman back for the 50th anniversary special?
Sketch of the night.
Yes.
For me, it was Gladiator II, the Tusical.
I really liked that they poked fun at it. I still think Earring for me. Honestly,
Earring was
it was
close.
really, really good.
Earring was close. I thought Gladiator 2 was so well done. The songs were very good. Production quality was there, and everyone was awesome in it. So
I was runner up for me is Play Don't Destroy because I think that's a really funny one.
Yeah.
The daddy thing is just really funny. It surprised me, the escalation on that, and it's hard to surprise me now with Please Don't Destroy. But I'm with Ben. I was going to go with only because I thought that was such a complete sketch from start to finish,
front to back, and the escalation was wonderful.
Earring was great.
They both went all in.
All the performances were good.
Throwing her out the freaking window.
Yep.
It's so good.
All right, so that's our episode. We'd love to hear from you. What did you guys think, or what sketch did you think was the best sketch of the night? Who did you think was the MVP? Let us know. Brad, what other episodes do we have coming up this Christmas?
we have 2 more to close out 2024. The next one will be hosted by Chris Rock on December 14th. And then after that, we'll be closing out the year with Martin Short hosting solo for the first time in like 10 or 12 years, something like that. The last time he hosted was
Is
with
this
Steve
his
Martin.
5-time?
I honestly...
Of like, because I don't know if
I don't think it is, actually. I think he's only hosted by himself 3 times, if I remember correctly.
Okay. All right.
But you can double check that on the SNL wiki.
Percentage chance.
That Steve Martin shows up.
100% that he'll be there in the monologue, or 0% he won't even be in the building. Steve Martin.
I feel like it's a 95% that Steve Martin's going to show up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So according to this, so do we count
when they've co-hosted?
Yeah. So we don't count the like when Martin Short and Steve Martin hosted together.
I don't know if there's any other time when someone has co-hosted with somebody where they've also qualified for the 5-timers and would need it to qualify for the 5-timers. So that's an interesting question, and I guess we'll only find out when
they could be playing. That could be a funny bit, by the way, that they play like on a technicality.
Like he's expecting
Steve
it,
Martin
and they're
comes
like,
in.
well, actually,
actually, that'd be a great bit.
Yeah. So if they count the double host, then
correct.
It's his fifth time.
He would be 5. He's a 4-timer.
If it were up to me, I'd say no. I think you have to host it by yourself.
Wow,
why do you hate?
Why do you hate Martin Short?
Every time we bring up Martin Short,
Martin
you
Short.
hate. You hate him.
It's because I want him.
You hate him.
No,
Brad famously said, "You know what? The thing about Martin Short, he's short on talent."
I'm sorry, you don't want him to come back and host again?
I didn't say that.
I like 6-timers too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you like 6-timers?
You still get
what do you get?
You still get the same amount of Martin Short.
You know who I want to see for 5-timers? Charles Barkley.
Huh?
Yeah, he's. And then you also were saying that you wanted Louis C.K. and James Franco to get their 5-timers.
Well, they're going to co-host, and so it will count.
Yeah.
And then Woody Harrelson too.
I mean, I'm not sure I'd put Woody Harrelson in the same tier as a James Franco or a Louis C.K.
Wow, Nate.
No.
Sorry, Woody. Kinda.
But I don't think after this last episode, any of us are that excited about him coming back.
Yeah.
No, but I'm also not lumping him in with, I don't know, serial sex offenders.
Yeah, not a great thing.
Why not?
Anti-vaxxers is one thing, but serial sex offender, kind of a different thing, Nate.
So this will be Chris Rock's 4th time hosting, by the way.
Close. But he previously co-hosted with
Whoopi Goldberg.
But yeah, so we'll be back in a week after Chris Rock hosts, and hopefully it doesn't suck.
What a great way to end the show. Hey, maybe next time it won't suck.
Hey,
This
Brad.
is a good episode.
I didn't say this one sucked. I just said hopefully that one doesn't suck.
You may just make it sound like this one sucked. Because
No, just because I don't expect much from Chris Rock these days.
Now,
that's fair.
Brad, why don't you tell people where people can find you where you don't write SNL write-ups anymore?
So I like to go to Taco Bell, and I usually get a
Cheesy Gordita Crunch.
No, I don't like those that much. I like Nachos Belgrande, and I usually get a grilled cheese steak burrito. So sometimes you can catch me in the drive-thru there. Also, I'm on Twitter at Ethan_Anderton, but I've been spending a little more time at Blue Sky. So look up Ethan Anderton on Blue Sky, where it's a lot more.
We're on Blue Sky now.
Is Go Fix Yourself on Blue Sky, or like the Royal We on Blue Sky? Or the 10 to 1 podcast, because that's what this one is.
Good, you remembered. Fastest lips in the West, everybody.
Well, yeah, they're fast. They're not accurate.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Did you make a Blue Sky account?
No, you did this last podcast where you said we're on Blue Sky now, and Ben and I were
I
like,
said I'm on Blue Sky. You
No,
said
you
we.
said-
No, you said we last time. We had a fucking episode. You said, you said we, and it was like, what are you talking about? We don't have an
Last
account.
time, this time I said I'm on Blue Sky.
Yeah, and then he made the joke. What is wrong with you not getting jokes?
No, but I said me.
Did your humor bone break?
Seriously.
I said me.
No, but
there's
Nate
joke.
said we. Because,
The escalation of it all.
What a moron.
You embarrass us.
Yeah. Get a better hobby.
Ben,
I'm
where-
on Blue Sky.
Ben, where can people find you?
Behind Brad in line at Taco Bell.
Also behind me in life.
Yeah, it's true. You won't get out of my way.
All right. Hey, do us a favor. Write us a review. Rate us on your favorite podcast platform. We genuinely love it. So if you just write something on Apple Podcasts, it'll get to us. We will share it, and we enjoy it. Thank you to everyone that has already done that and rated us. We are one of the top 15 SNL recap and review podcasts in Indiana.
Sure. We can say that with great confidence.
I literally was like, oh, I mean, that's kind of a thing. And then the Indiana thing got me. Good job, buddy. You are funnier than Brad.
So again, rate and review us, subscribe, share this, and like us on Facebook and Twitter. All right, friends, we'll be back again next week. Be good to yourself, be good to others. Bye-bye.